All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, lamenting things in real time, doing it on Super Bowl Sunday 2025 for a handful of people just like you and just like me. A couple of housekeeping things. If you could hit the subscribe button, that'd be cool. If you'd like to help out the channel, that would be cool. Also, Patreon, buy me a coffee, YouTube memberships, and now we have super chats available. Um, it would help. I'm about 80K behind where I was a few months ago, so I'd really appreciate the help. Now it is Super Bowl Sunday, and I guess it's Kendrick Lamar Day. If you don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, he just won a couple of Grammys the other day. I went and listened to the song Not Like Us. I cannot get that time back. Um, I can go and listen to some classic rock or something to purge, maybe some 60s soul or Motown music to make me feel good. Man, they're going to perform that song at halftime. Man. Um, so, if you're hanging out with the family, maybe they're going to have a button they can press to bleep lyrics out. I mean, it's a train wreck. I mean, this just won. It's like the best song, and it won in two different ways. Um, so I went and looked up this amazing fact about Kendrick Lamar. He's won 22 Grammys. 22. I mean, how many do the Beatles have? How many do the Stones have? I mean, I know they just won, right? That's not going to continue for too much longer. And that was embarrassing in a different way. The fact that there is no rock music that's filling that void left by these amazing bands that we're slowly saying goodbye to. But the culture has really shifted. I mean, again, I cite this guy and I will never use his name, but he's an old friend of mine. I basically worked for him at a radio station or worked with him. I think he was my boss, but he told me years ago, Dave, it's a cycle, man. Don't worry. I know you're lamenting the fact that there is no decent music on the horizon, and that country is turning into R&B, and R&B has turned into very loud beats that will shake the back window of a Dodge Challenger in front of you, not to mention the license plate, right? And you're sitting there and you've got a nice song on in your car, and now you can no longer hear that song. That stuff, yeah, it's a fad. It's a passing fad. It's gonna no, it's making a ton of money. That song, Not Like Us, on YouTube alone has 227 million views or streams or however you want to look at it. And Kendrick Lamar is the halftime entertainment. And there's a management company that is really taking over what you see at halftime at the Super Bowl. Now, some people, they might not even watch this game, believe it or not. But this year, there's so much hype. It is Kansas City, and they're trying to what? Three-peat, four-peat? I can't really keep up. But and they're playing the Eagles, and a lot of people are rooting for the Eagles because they're not the Chiefs. This happens a lot when the Patriots were good or the Cowboys were good. Everybody was rooting against them when they had dynasties and so forth. And you get tired of seeing the same people, and the music is the same thing. Last year it was Usher. This year it's Kendrick Lamar. I'm not even going to mention rock music. Rock music will never. I don't want to say never, but it's probably not going to make a comeback, at least at the Super Bowl. And, recent articles where Gene Simmons is talking about how rock is dead, and there's some guy from Twisted Sister talking about how rock is probably dead. And, you've got companies that are basically hired to craft the Super Bowl entertainment each year. And the same outfit is providing or hiring the entertainment for this year as they did last year. So you're gonna basically get the same type of entertainment. Rock Nation, ROC Nation, that is the company now handling all of this. The company was founded by Jay-Z, and they've picked halftime show entertainment since 2019. The first year was Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. And then since then, it's been the likes of Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and now Kendrick Lamar. Is that what the majority of people want to see at halftime? Has that been focus tested at all? I just, it's mind blowing that we've shifted in that direction where, again, this song is almost unlistenable. If you've got a family, and I don't know, maybe the lyrics will be changed, but the lyrics, I mean, I had the thing on mute and I just had the captions engaged. And I'm looking at these lyrics and I'm like, wow, we're in a lot of trouble as a society. If this is normal and this isn't just kind of like aberrant or like just a small sliver of the culture, no. He's won the Grammy 22 times. 22 Grammys for singing stuff like what he's going to sing. And this is why, again, you have just an overall degradation in the culture. That's all I could say. If I sound like some old dude preaching, and just talking about stuff that people forgot about 10 or 20 years ago, well, that's me. What else can you talk about? Are we all going to just go down without a fight? We're just going to let this we're not going to say, hey, can we find something a little more accessible for halftime? If I'm watching the game with a family, right, which I'm not going to be doing because I'm not subjecting my family to the game. Now, my older son, if he wants to watch on his own, go over a friend's house and watch it. The commercials can be interesting, but I don't know. I would definitely stay away from the halftime show. And a lot of people complain about the halftime show, but it doesn't change. The NFL, by the way, a sport that used to kind of showcase the more masculine nature of the NFL has really kind of, been wussified over recent years. And the music, I think, reflects that. The music is part of that. I don't understand how this is good. And by the way, some of the subject matter in this song, remember that Gillette commercial from a few years ago about toxic masculinity? Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of hypocrisy when certain people are able to, get into certain topics and say certain things, and yet, it seems to be very just degrading in general, not to any one group, but just this is how we're going to portray ourselves. Now, somebody's going to come along and say, you just don't understand this. He's actually sticking it to the man, or he's singing. You're not going to get me to really invest that much time of my life trying to figure out what he's saying in these songs. Because if it's not readily apparent, because I'm kind of a simple guy, if I'm not just reading this fairly quickly and understanding what this is about, never mind trying to get past the music, because that would be the first part, the music end of this, which is just, thumping the floorboards. That's all this is. I don't understand it. The kind of art that I grew up listening to. You want R&B, like great R&B, like the OJs or Earth, Wind and Fire, Harold Melvin and the Blue Note. You want some realist spinners. I mean, that's the stuff that, should be showcased. But I mean, these bands, these groups are old and nobody's around anymore. But nothing really came along to replace that. They all went in a certain direction. And the subject matter, it's just it's like a different language. Literally, it's like a different language to me. So yeah, I'm feeling really left out, and I guess that's okay. You know what would be cool if there was just an alternative to all of this. There was an alternative league that played sport, whatever, football, whatever, and you could be a part of that and root for those teams, kind of like what the XFL or something did. But I mean, I'm you're not going to just dismantle the NFL and start over again. But there's so much hype. 2 weeks to wait for the game. The games used to be played in January. Now they're all in February, which you're trying to maximize all of that hype for 2 weeks. And they push everything out as far as they can push it out. They'll in like 50 years they'll probably play this game in April if it keeps going like it is. Yeah, we got more games in and more playoffs and more hype and more money, and this is the stuff that makes money. No question about it. This guy, Kendrick Lamar, I'm sure is a multi millionaire, if not maybe even into the hundreds of millions as far as net worth. I don't know. But you can sense that these people know what they're doing when it comes to appealing to a very, I'm not going to say lowest common denominator, but just the denominator that's going to get them the most bang for their bucks, or bucks for their bang, I think is a better way to look at that. So in any event, folks, I guess there's probably a pregame show where there'll be some geezer rock people running around playing their music, whether it's Billy Idol or Joan Jett or whoever. That's cool. That's great. Throw us a bone. Like, have this ceremony, like the Grammys. Have the ceremony before the actual Grammys where you give out awards, and it's just pathetic. It's like, your category is so lame. We're not even going to put it in prime time. We're just going to tell folks later who won what. Anyway, that's where we are in the year 2025. Go Eagles. I don't know what else to say. If you're going to watch the big game, maybe you can just avoid the halftime show. Maybe go watch some reruns of Hogan's Heroes or something during during the halftime, and come back, set a timer. It's just sad. That's our culture right now. Our culture is depraved. It's absolutely depraved, and it's winning. On top of it, it's winning Grammys. I mean, this is what's winning right now. I'm just flabbergasted by all of it. And that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoy the game if you watch it, and God bless. God bless the USA.